All right, episode 9. We are 1 week, actually. I mean, today we're recording this on a Wednesday, fellas, but 6 days. The first college football playoff rankings. Hence where we got the name, the Reaction Committee. We will have the first rankings. Very excited to get into that. Very excited to be with you. We got a special guest next week already on the books.
Yeah.
So the conversation we're going to have today later on, we're going to get into a few things here. The biggest conversation, obviously, we need to have is LSU firing Brian Kelly. The day has come. And I must say, Dak, the wind has been in your sails as of lately. You got your first fantasy football win, and Brian Kelly, all in the same weekend, is gone from LSU. A lot of wind in those sails.
Yeah, you guys said that I was moving with an extra pep in my step this week.
You were.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not be? It feels like after just a season of losing, you finally get your first big victory. And you mentioned it. It was my first dub in fantasy football. I was 0-7. And I wasn't just like a sneaky 0-7. No, I was putting up like 80 points a week. It was really bad. But I made some major changes to my team. And then LSU, after probably what was the most pitiful performance that I've seen during my time as a fan, it was pretty much that. And when we lost to Troy back in like 2017, after that, the governor stepped in and said, enough's enough. We're not doing this anymore. And they made the switch and they got rid of a guy who it turns out he had absolutely no supporters left.
No.
I'll ask you guys this. Like, have you ever seen a coach fired where, I mean, he didn't bottom out. We never went 5-7 or even 6-6. Have you ever seen a coach exit like that? And there's not a single person, not one person who stands up and goes, he didn't deserve that. He's a good guy. They fired him too soon. This is the first time I've never seen that once in my life.
No,
Yeah,
I've never seen it. And I was going to say, I feel like if there was anyone who would be that, it would be you, the way you've been defending them the past
Are you kidding me?
2
Wow.
years.
No,
And
no.
I was
Oh my
happy
God.
for you that he's gone. But I was going to say, like I said it to you last night or 2 nights ago, I can't remember. It was like watching your buddy in a bad relationship with a girlfriend where
All right.
you don't really approve and you question things often. You maybe throw little subtle questions at them and they're just going the extra mile to defend it. And
Yeah,
then now
yeah.
you, like we were saying, new pep in your step. It feels like a huge weight is lifted and it's a weight that feels like it's been on you for a while.
And I was going to say, I said it last week, but I was like, it was even worse because like even a bad relationship, it's not like people on TV are asking you about it every single day. And you don't have to defend it every day. But that's what it was with Brian Kelly. But you know what? Changes have been made. I'm back on Hinge. We're getting back into the pool and we're looking for a new fit right now. And somebody that's a culture fit and also an intelligent guy. But it was, I mean, it's been ridiculous. Actually, first, I do want to address it. No, I was never a Brian Kelly defender. All right. That's rude to say that I was. I was defending LSU.
That's a lie.
I was defending LSU, not Brian Kelly. LSU. I said he could do it, but I was defending LSU. I never loved Brian Kelly. Did I think he could win some stuff? Sure.
Okay. I didn't say love, but to say not a defender is just untrue. That's just not true.
They go hand in hand. I get what you're saying, Dak, but I also get what Stu's saying here. You defended him because he's LSU's head coach. They made the decision to bring him in, but ultimately the wrong decision.
It was a terrible decision. I'll never forget because it's when I first moved down to Austin. And it was the month, I think probably like the month before I moved down or a couple months before. That's when he did My Family. And
during basketball season.
You and B-Sap, when I first moved down, you're like, you like decals, My Family? I was like, God damn, man. Because I did it. I hated the hire at first. It was so bad.
Can I share the clip real quick?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, why not?
All right, I'm going to share the screen.
You got it?
Yeah.
I mean, this was just the most – because I remember I was at the basketball game when Michigan introduced Jim Harbaugh, and it was a perfect moment. This was
Rex Ryan in that mix.
Chad Powers.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
This is how it all started, yeah.
It's a great night to be a Tiger. I'm here with my family.
Oh, God.
It's a great night to be
Be
a
a
Tiger.
Tiger.
I'm here
It's
with
not
my
even that.
family.
My
Family.
family. He does it on the
Best is
It's
Tiger.
absurd.
Yeah, that whole announcement he did, where the whole video of him going, and I haven't even won all my games yet.
I haven't. Bad.
Now I get it as someone who's been in the South. I went to college in Oklahoma. We now have all lived in Texas a decent amount of time. Louisiana, and you lived in Louisiana. You can attest to this, Dak. Louisiana's got its own dialect.
Yeah.
I get it. Maybe when he was just around it so much that maybe picked it up, but it kind of embodies what he was there, a fake, a phony. And here's my biggest thing. We'll get into who you want. Like you said, you're on Hinge, hypothetically.
Of course,
I'd love to hear who you want.
On Raya this time, hopefully.
No,
On
yeah,
Raya,
this
that's
time
right.
we're on Riot. We're paying for it. We're looking for the
Shout
right
out
fit.
Cassie. I know she's got a boyfriend now, but always let us know she's on Raya.
Yeah, dude. I wonder.
Um,
Yeah, she was on
always
Riot.
good.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
would tell us that she was on Raya. Great.
Yeah, she got her third. Yeah.
Yeah. But you're right. Also, to answer your question, Stu answered it, and I'm also going to. Nobody stood up for him. It's only been bad stories coming out. Only stories of him being in Florida on the beach during a recruiting process. Only him not talking to the players and the staff and the coaches. All this bull crap coming out about this man, about how now he's just a douchebag. There's no other word to use but douchebag.
Mm-hmm.
But we get to this point where, again, I'm going to ask you about this, but when it comes to the money, I also think we need to kind of blame too Scott Woodward, a guy who doesn't get enough heat. Why is he still the AD there? I don't know. Do we want him to make the next hire at LSU?
Yeah.
And like even this is my point though. Going back to it, sorry, off track a little bit.
Yeah.
Even James Franklin had people standing up for him. Somewhat.
Exactly.
Players and people like that.
Billy Napier. Mm-hmm.
Right, Billy Napier. All these guys at least had some people in their corner, like, all right, and Billy Napier, poor guy, is a dead man walking for the whole time. Was he a good coach? I don't know. But that dude's been fired since last year early on.
Exactly.
Ever since that schedule came out and they lost a few games last year, which they pretty much had the same schedule this year, he's been cooked. So, yes, Brian Kelly, to answer the question, no, I've never seen anything like this. He is what we thought he was at the end of it. He's selfish. It was always about Brian Kelly. That's what it felt like. It was always about BK. And listen, he won't make all the $54 million, but does he need to coach again? And that's my question. Do you guys think he will coach again? Because I don't even know if he will.
So I've gone through this a lot. So I think they got the buyout cut in half.
There's some asterisks in the contract. Not a lot of these contracts are getting fully bought out.
So I keep
doesn't happen.
Yeah, so I keep seeing it was something with a morality clause, and then they said that's not true.
Bingo. Yeah.
People have said it's true. I don't know. I've been seeing conflicting reports. End of the day,
no
basically.
Morality.
Huh?
I said no morality for Brian Kelly. He kills people, so obviously not.
So there was. This is like deep woods LSU Twitter, but there's this weird guy with this like really nerdy profile picture that everybody hates on Twitter. But he does always come with the receipts, and he said he found essentially some dirty laundry on Brian Kelly that's kind of official, and that would help get him fired. I don't know like how much of that's true, but I do wonder if it's related to the kid thing. Regardless, the one thing that is for certain is when they started having these conversations on Saturday night in Death Valley up in the suites, there was one booster. Everyone's guessing it's Todd Graves. I mean, he's worth $25 billion, so it's probably him.
That's Canes, right?
That's Canes guy. Yeah, Canes guy.
Yeah.
There was one booster who stepped up and is like, I'll essentially foot the bill myself. Others are pitching in, but he's like, I'll take care of most of it. Just do it. And so that's what they said. Because like, obviously, end of the day, you don't have to be a perfect fit. If you win games, they're going to keep you here.
Right. Doesn't matter about your culture fit. If you won,
no, exactly. And you can lose games and still keep your job. Like I said, he never bottomed out. They were never 5-7. Really, this last week they've gotten blown out at home before, which is tough. But it hadn't been that bad. I think this kind of happened because he knew he was done and like he was looking for him to do it. You can still keep your job though if you got friends within the program. And he had no friends within the program whatsoever. And you got nobody speaking up for you now. And it's actually to backtrack, it's even worse. There are like people coming out being like, hey, we didn't say this, but like, this is how bad he was. And this is how bad the culture actually got for a program that's built on culture. which is upsetting to see, but at least they did it when they did it, and now you're done with it.
Well,
So.
it's interesting too because even when he left Notre Dame for LSU, didn't
They
really
weren't
seem
upset.
like Notre Dame fans were all that disappointed to lose him. So I feel like there's been nothing but bad vibes that follow everywhere Brian Kelly has gone.
And the players too at Notre Dame were so excited to get Marcus Freeman. We
I
saw
know.
that video of him coming in. They're like,
Dude.
"Oh my gosh, this is great!" And so probably maybe that was a little bit of writing on the wall before we even knew it. Like Brian Kelly, listen, the guy wins. Like he's won. Even at LSU, you mentioned it, Dak. Like he still won games. We were at when they beat Alabama. Now was that with those guys? Maybe, but he brought in Jane Daniels, like you brought up, and so he's won games. And this year they would have gone. I mean, hard to say after that loss. Like that's a fireable offense. You have a bye week, so it makes perfect time, like sense-wise, timing-wise, like to do it then. But like he still would have got you 8 wins, but it just was going down and it wasn't a fit. And that's a place where this is in my eyes, up for a debate. I don't think it's debatable. It's a top 5 job, maybe the 3rd best job in football. If I've tried to track what's the best jobs in football, I'd probably say it's about 3 on my list. Like it is one of the best places. Resources per capita they produce at in-state the most football players. We know that. I mean, look at the NFL right now. The list goes on to all the stuff that they have there at Louisiana State and the pride of being an LSU fan. I've got to witness it. Dak, you've lived it. It's part of the reason why you went to LSU, just to even be in a part of an athletic team, not even just the football team. It's the pride of LSU. It's the state. It's the fans. It's the Tigers. It is that can't happen. What happened where A&M fans took over Death Valley. That is not allowed. No. Yeah. No, that will fly most places where, you know what, like when I was at the Michigan game, that they got their championship legit a couple months prior. But when Texas came into town and they got waxed by Texas, granted, like I said, they won the championship. It was like Texas fans everywhere and they took over the stadium. That doesn't happen at LSU. At a night game against a rival. No, it can't happen. All the things lined up. So I'm not surprised it happened. I'm happy for your sake it happened. Because they can go out and call anybody. Now, I do have to put this out there too, fellas. I want to ask this. We're in a time, and we're talking about this on air today, and I brought it up. We're in a time frame, though, where Indiana, Kirk Cignetti, right? We'll bring them up. Clark Lee with Vanderbilt. There's schools that historically haven't been good. Those are the 2 doormats of the Big Ten and the SEC historically. But I don't know if those guys are going to leave because they built the culture there and now they have the buy-in, right? Like maybe they don't have as many dollars as an LSU does or even a Florida or a Penn State, right? But at Vanderbilt, diamond in the rough, great school, has the resources if there's buy-in, which there clearly is. Nashville, Tennessee, and even Indiana, most alumni believe in the country. There is athletic pride for sure. They have a great, historically basketball program, never have had the football team, but people are buying into it. The fans are real. The buy-in there is real. Like those guys aren't leaving. I even if Clark gets a call from Florida, I don't think he leaves. So I have to ask you guys that. That's why I asked this about Lane Kiffin. Do you think that guy even leaves Ole Miss at this point? LSU will call him. No doubt about it. They have to. But does he even leave? Does Dan Lanning leave Oregon? Does Marcus Freeman leave Notre Dame? Do one of these people leave their big school, or not even big school, but main school they're at right now? Like, is Jeff Brom going to leave Louisville, which is his alma mater? Same with Clark Lee. Same with Kenny Dillingham at ASU. That's my question is, I think we're in a different era, which I love about college football. Like right now is, yes, there's issues, obviously, but guys that are like not even just alumni, but like bought in and built that culture, they can succeed if there's buy-in from the donors, not just that, but from the team. Does that make sense, fellas? Like more parity. Nick Saban's gone, more parity that the blue bloods don't have to be the ones that are the dominant ones. I just want to throw that out there.
No,
you feel that way?
No, yeah, and like I know exactly what you mean because like I feel like before, like you look at a guy like Clark Lee, or even you look at a guy like Cignetti, or if you want to bring up like Drinkaway, somebody like that. In the past, they would probably leave because their school wasn't going to pay them X amount of dollars, and they wouldn't have the resources. And it's not that they wanted to leave because they built it up. And like a lot of the time at those schools, like in Indiana or like a Vanderbilt, the stakes aren't as high, the pressure is not as high, and so you don't have to win year in, year out. Like you don't have to try to win a championship every single year, as opposed to if you go to Florida, you got 3 or 4 years, you don't win one, all of a sudden you're out of there. And so I feel like it's always been the sense, 20, 30 years ago, guys didn't necessarily want to go there, but in order to succeed or try to succeed, and in order to get paid what you want to get paid, you kind of had to do that. Now you don't necessarily have to do that. And so Cignetti's not going anywhere. He's like 65, right? 64. He's old.
64, yeah.
Yeah, he's older. He said he wants to retire at Indiana. He's built it up. He knows he can win there. They're going to pay him whatever. A school would maybe have to make him a ridiculous offer. I think a guy like Lane Kiffin, that's where it's interesting because you look at him and he does have national championship potential. He's been a part of national championship winning teams. He does have the resources at Ole Miss, and they're happy with what he's doing. He could have a job there forever. But that is kind of a guy where if he looks around, he's like, I don't know if I can win a national championship here, but I know if I can recruit the state of Louisiana or I can recruit the state of Florida a little bit better, then maybe I go there. And he always said he's not going to make a decision based on money. That's obviously a factor, but he won't make, double what he's making now, right? They'll pay him extra, I would guess, but he's going to go somewhere where he really wants to win a national championship and thinks that he can. Because still, even though he's built it up and he has a great culture at Ole Miss and they put together great teams and they're going to go to the playoffs this year, will he be able to build a consistent title contender there every year as opposed to Florida or LSU where you probably can do that all the time? So a guy like that, I think, would maybe leave,
These are the current odds, Dak.
LSU? Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So I said a couple weeks ago I thought Lane Kiffin would take the Florida job.
How would you feel about John Sumrall?
No, you can't do it.
I was going to ask about this. I was listening to that guy.
And it's not a real option. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I sent you this, right? Outside of Louisiana, it makes total sense, right? Had a lot of success at Tulane. He's a guy in state. But I think that's the issue is that's like little brother ultimate, right? You can explain this best. I was listening to that one cat I sent you. I forgot his name. The LSU guy. When this all went down, he was live.
AYS Sports or whatever.
Whatever. Thank you.
Yeah.
But he was like, that's not happening. And I was like, well, why is that? Can you give us some insight as to why you don't think that'll happen?
Well, so I don't think that's going to happen. I actually think it's part of that is due to the last coaching search. And so when we were going through and when we ultimately ended up looking at the ad at the bottom, is hilarious. Yeah, that's what I was. Oh, Dabo Sweeney.
Well, that's funny, but yeah, that ad's crazy.
I was looking at the broad at the bottom. Yeah,
yeah, the judge.
Rivers Huey. There we go. No, so I think. The main reason I think that wouldn't happen, number one, when we fired Coach O and they were looking to hire somebody new, I remember the top people that everybody wanted that they kind of argued about. Lane Kiffin was like third, but people wanted Billy Napier and people wanted Lincoln Riley. And they wanted Billy Napier because he was from Louisiana. He coached UL, and they thought he could recruit the state really well. He hadn't been at a big program, but people thought he could win. I think they've seen Billy Napier now go to Florida, have absolutely no success, and people don't necessarily want to take a chance on that. So they don't want to go outside of the Power 4 route. But then at the same time, those same people are kind of like, you don't have to go call it big buck hunting and try to do what they did with Brian Kelly, and those are the same people that maybe want Shep in as our head coach, Calvin Shepard. Because he went.
And let me say this, too, fellas. Is it just me? But who's done that? In this era of college football, I know it's a small sample size. It's so different. But, fellas, who's coming from the NFL in this era?
I know.
Jim Harbaugh going from there. Who's coming into this era of college football after being in the NFL? Joe Brady could probably get an NFL job if he waits it out a little bit.
Exactly.
Shepard he's in line to do what – if he waits here in Detroit and we go where us Lions fans think they can go, the defense already looks better, and they might have more guys, but it doesn't matter. He can wait and maybe get a job somewhere. Look at what happened to our old DC, right? AG's the head coach of the Jets. Do these guys really want to get into that business? You have to be the CEO.
I was gonna say Shep. I feel like there's a decent chance he could end up getting an offer at the end of this NFL season. I don't see why.
Right. You're not wrong.
Yeah, so I don't know. It would be. I do think he would be good in college, just because I feel like a lot of the guys from the DC tree that are mainly CEOs, like you said, good culture fits in terms of really having the players' backs. Total opposite of Brian Kelly. That's kind of what Coach O was almost to an extent, and so I feel like that's Calvin Shepard. I feel like could be a good fit for that. But yeah, I don't know
That's
why
not
he
the
would
question,
why he'd
Stu.
take
Exactly. I agree. Like he could do it. I think Joe Brady probably could come in and do it. Hypothetically, I think Calvin Shepard though could do it. Do these guys that are in the NFL want
Have
to
any
come into
interest?
this era where you have to be a CEO? Like you have to legitimately, like essentially, obviously you're in tie with your AD who's getting all the boosters, but you have to essentially be a CEO of all the shit that you have to deal with. Like there's a few coaches that are doing it well. It just feels so involved. Not that the NFL isn't; it's another beast. But the recruiting, the thing with the NFL is, if you're a coach, you're not scouting, you're not recruiting.
Yeah.
Like this is a whole different beast. You know what I mean? And you have to get those guys. You have to get those guys on your coaching staff that are going to go out and recruit. But you also have to be there, and you got to go to their house and visit. Like it just seems so involved. And I'm not saying they wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying, do they want to? I don't know. That's the fair question, right?
No, that's kind of, and like I agree. If you're in the NFL right now, if you're a coordinator in the NFL, you'd rather honestly just become a head coach in the NFL because college football has become just another version of the NFL.
It's like a minor league, but like way different. Yeah.
No, exactly. But it's more
free agencies.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's more chaotic. It's less organized, and there's a lot more politics involved. And
so much politics. Your governor is stepping in of the state of Louisiana.
I know that is because we don't have a president, but it's hilarious. They had a meeting at the governor's mansion and he said he just didn't invite our athletic director. He just said, "Yeah, no, we're not doing that."
It's amazing. I love it.
And not to get off track, but the crazy thing is too, because I said it, I was like, you can't, and you asked this earlier, you can't let Scott Woodward hire another head coach. You can't
let this man do this again.
You can't let him do it. And then Governor Landry came out today, who's hilarious. If you combine him with that senator, I'll find some clips of it with that
What's
senator.
The guy's name?
I can't remember, but he has some insane commercials. He also, I saw
like something about a crackhead.
Yeah. He's like, next time, he's like, talk about the police. He's like, next time you're in trouble, try calling a crackhead. And then, dude, I saw another clip of him where he said, he's like, I'm not calling you the dumbest person in the world, but you better thank your lucky stars that the dumbest person doesn't die. Basically, it was and he's just saying this.
It is a gift.
It's funny. But yeah, Governor Landry essentially came out today and they asked, they're like, is Scott Woodward going to be in charge? He goes, no shot. I'm never letting him do that again.
That's amazing. Well, good.
He's like, we're hiring him, but he still has a job. So what if you're not overseeing the football hire, what is your job then? You know? Yeah.
Just women's soccer,
women's basketball, and in the baseball team. He did a good job bringing in. Was that even his hire? Was Johnson?
That was his hire. But I said it. Stevie Wonder could have hired Jay Johnson. Like, he's a great baseball coach, man. It's not that hard. And so, like, I'm not going to give him his flowers for that. Like, congrats, buddy. Or Kim Wilkie, you know?
All right, bud. Tell us, though, who you want, ideally. Who do you think is a realistic hire? Stu gave out the list there.
Yeah.
Who actually do you think is realistic?
I'm gonna give my prediction after you say who you want.
Okay, so realistic. I can't make a decision. I'll say this. I don't want Shep. He hasn't done it before. If you want a culture guy, a guy that is realistic, who said today, I'll send you guys the video, said today, I will go back to LSU and be the defensive line coach under Lane Kiffin if they don't offer me the head coach job, is Coach O. Coach O said he would be an assistant at LSU today if they call him.
That's amazing. No, that's a great package there.
So if you want to go culture guy, just go that route. A realistic guy that you could hire, that is Coach O. You know what? At this point, I'd have no qualms with it. I think the most realistic one who would be—
You wouldn't have any qualms with him as the head coach, not intern.
If they want to go the straight, like, we want to rebuild the culture, like if they're trying to bring in him or Shep or former player, yeah, you know what, bring in Coach O.
All right.
So I said this: I don't think he could have course corrected what he ruined before, but he's no longer newly divorced, and I think he's learned a lot, and so we would see. If I had the pick of the litter and I could pick anyone, I think I would actually say Joe Brady. He was there in 2019. He built that entire offense.
Right.
He knows how to recruit. They'd have Frank Wilson, Corey Raymond. He hasn't been a head coach, but it would work. Like, he was great with the Saints, great with LSU. He's been awesome with Buffalo. I think that could work. The most realistic one, though, is Lane Kiffin. That's who I'd go get. My 1-1 is Dan Lanning. I just don't think that happens. I would be surprised. It's possible, but I don't think they're going to do it. And so
of current coaches right now that are realistic to get, kind of give me your order of current head coaches. So Joe Brady thrown out, Shep thrown out,
Yeah.
even O thrown out, and Saban and Urban and all those cats thrown out.
Yeah.
Like who are the top ones? It would be Dan Lanning's your one. He does. I know what you mean by that. He's got that crazy. He could fit that, and he's been in the SEC. He was at Georgia before this.
Yep. So I'd say Dan Lanning would be my 1-1. I would say Lane Kiffin would probably be my 2.
Okay.
And then current head coaches, so no Coach O or any of that. I don't think I'd want Sumrall. No Joe
Marcus
Brady.
Freeman?
Yeah, I would say Marcus Freeman.
I mean, whatever. He's at Notre Dame. He's a totally different human. You know, like
yeah, no, I know. Yeah. No, I would say Marcus Freeman. Like if you could go get Marcus Freeman.
Ron Moore come to mind at all?
He would be in the top 45. Top 45.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would you rather have Sharon Moore or Brian Kelly?
Sharon Moore.
Yeah, you gotta say, yeah.
Sharon Moore.
He's still a coach, yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't kill a man either. All right, well, that's good to know. Stu, you said you got a pick. Let's hear it. Is it any of the ones he listed off?
This is a crazy kind of out of left field one, but I will say Dak brought him up to me the other day,
Okay.
and I don't know why. I just have this feeling this is gonna be what ends up happening, and I don't hate it either. Jimbo Fisher.
Oh,
Wow.
so I didn't bring him up as LSU coach. I said a funny move.
Jimbo Fisher?
I said a smart move.
I do hate that. I hate that.
For LSU, I hate it. I brought it up for other schools. I said they wouldn't have to pay
He's got
him.
a great record.
He does.
Scott Woodward, if he's not involved in the choice, I don't even think that would be.
It's not allowed.
Jimbo Fisher hasn't coached in what? Well, it's only 2 years.
2 years, but I will say he's only got 2 seasons all time where he's won less than 8 games.
He did exactly what Brian Kelly did. Well, not exactly. I want to say that team was like, what were they like? Playing video games and shit. They were doing insane stuff. They're smoking blunts in the locker room.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like getting insane at A&M. He didn't give a damn. He just got
To
paid.
be honest, I feel like
$77
Coach
million.
O was probably allowing the same stuff, but galvanizing the guys nonetheless.
Yeah, I'll say, but motivating the guy.
Galvin.
Do you really think Jimbo Fisher's in?
So, wait,
he's
let me
like effing around.
Let me explain the way I told
don't hate
Stu. Yeah, I was gonna say
I
told
hate it.
Stu
I hate it.
a different team, not LSU. I'd be fuming if it was LSU. A different team, if they wanted to be like, hey Jimbo, because A&M they don't have the clause that James Franklin has, where he gets paid less if another team's paying him. So he gets to collect $7 million a year for the next 3 years from A&M, regardless. If a team wanted to bring him in and be like, hey, he can be like, I'll essentially coach for free, use that money, invest in all of our assistants so we can get top assistants in the country, put that into NIL. We'll do that for a few years. I'll try to build something here. It's not the worst
Arkansas.
idea.
I think he'd be good at Arkansas.
Yeah.
Like that makes sense to me. I could see him coaching LSU.
My other reasoning behind it is kind of getting
there.
into what Kreitz was saying earlier about how I just don't think, to be honest, I don't think Lane is leaving, honestly, anymore.
I don't think Lane's
The
leaving.
vibes I'm
No.
getting. I don't think Dan Lanning's leaving.
Probably
And
not.
yeah, you could go. I feel like maybe like Eli Drinkowitz would probably leave Mizzou to come to LSU.
He would, yeah.
Jeff Brom would probably leave Louisville to come to LSU. But I have a feeling that they're gonna want some guy who has won, to be honest, like who's won it all. And so Jimbo Fisher is who I'm going with. That's my prediction. Could be way off, but we'll see.
Yeah. Last thing, just because I do think Lane would leave. Because like Ole Miss,
this would be the job he takes.
Yeah,
this is
Ole Miss
the
does
job
have
he would take
resources.
if he does leave. Yeah,
exactly, and he built it up. But I saw a quote, or it was like a clip from Urban Meyer earlier, and he's like, Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Notre Dame, they used to have a bunch of success because there were a bunch of kids they could recruit from in-state. The Steel Belt, like a bunch of people just like moved down south, and he's like, the reason those jobs are still desirable essentially is because you don't have to expand that wide across the country. And Lane Kiffin, he could just walk outside his back door, you recruit Louisiana, a little bit of Eastern Texas, and then Florida, Alabama, Georgia, which he is doing at Ole Miss, but it would just be that much
and more
easier for him.
resources, bigger stadium, bigger buy-in. Like it's just the list goes on.
Yeah. But we'll
He's
see.
not too far from his family. Like he likes, his kid playing football. His daughter drives there every weekend. We hear about it from Joe Tessitore and Sean McDowell.
We'll say
his name's on ESPN.
I think she'd be pretty down to transfer, honestly.
I think
she's
so.
got to be. Is she like a senior? I feel like she's been in college for a while. Maybe not. But I agree, Stu. I feel like if there is one job he would take, it'd be take this, especially over Florida.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he's leaving because Ole Miss can cough up a bag and he can just be. The thing is they're going to make the playoffs this year. This is my thought on him at Ole Miss. And the expectation ain't winning championships at Ole Miss. It's making the playoffs at this point, right? And so, maybe he still wants to win, and not to say he can't, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to go.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. But maybe the prodigal son returns. Bring Coach O back. It would be hilarious and awesome.
All
right.
I think that's what everyone wants to see.
I'd love to see if they could I think the best case scenario would be get Lane Kiffin, if doable, and then bring Coach O on board. That'd be amazing. They'd be fully back. That would be like, Stu, I think I asked the question. Do you think he's going to coach again?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be at MSU. It would be hilarious.
Yeah.
But I could see him going somewhere. I could see him ending up at like a Virginia Tech or something along those lines.
I had the thought of this first week, because he's such an arrogant shithead. He's not just like taking the first week or two to be like relax and be like, who cares? Coach O said he's like, I'll go get a burger, go to the beach, and I'm good to go. I think these first couple weeks he's going to be stewing in whatever office he's in. He's going to be like, I'm going to prove him wrong. I'm going to go win somewhere else. And then after those 2 weeks pass and he sees the jobs available, I think he'll be like, all right, maybe I can't do this. And so I think there's a small chance he does, but if I had to guess, he might hang up the head.
He needs to go to the ACC. I think Virginia Tech would make sense. He needs to go out east and go to a place where, dude, there's so many weird, sneaky teams right now in the ACC. Virginia could win it. Like
Penn State. I would love to see him at Penn State.
Just go out east where you belong. Like I don't even think Big Ten makes like Michigan State. He could definitely.
If he went Big Ten, I'd prefer to see Michigan State because it would just be so funny. Like I think that would be the most hilarious next arc for him. Penn State.
I think of a job. I don't think Penn State's going to do it. Like I think they're like, nah. I think they go Matt Rule over him because I'll say this about Matt Rule. He's not my favorite, but he doesn't come with all the baggage of Brian. How bad baggage this guy was.
Yeah, not a douchebag.
He's a douchebag. Yeah, he's just a douchebag.
Yeah.
All right, fellas, do you want to get into this our segment I've been waiting for?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Let's do it.
We got a few things to get on to. Right now, we're going to do our Don't Stop Believing. This is our dark horse team. Right now, teams essentially that don't have the favorable odds of making it, they still are alive in the playoff race. I can pull up the odds, or Stu, maybe even you can, of I think ESPN, if you want to keep it consistent with your ESPN predictor. There's like an ESPN playoff percentage thing, all state, whatever, or just playoff odds or whatever you want to do. I don't care.
I'll pull up the ESPN playoff predictor. I will say though, my team is not included on the ESPN.
I did see it was not because you did tell us. I don't know Dax, but you did tell us who your team is because I asked this question to you both, and we got.
So I'll just pull up. I'll pull up the betting odds for mine.
All right, perfect. But don't stop.
Yeah, mine's definitely not on there as well. I'm going out of left field, like deep left.
Okay, mine made the list, but I'm at the bottom, so we're all very small. Technically. Don't Stop Believing. Dark horse playoff team still alive and well. Then we'll get into a couple of the playoff matchups. Oh, not playoff matchups. Well, playoff implicating matchups this weekend. It's pretty light on this weekend. And then after that, fellas, we'll do Dax Dog, of course. All right. I will grab a beer real quick while you're pulling that up, Stu.
All right.
I think I might
go ahead. Got it right here.
All right. Mine did get some votes, so this is good. This is really good.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to hear what yours is.
Oh, dude, mine is. I've brought them up to you a couple times. Too. My team.
You have,
but they
okay.
have they do not control their own destiny, and they have a tough path. But they have probably the biggest. Oh, this is one that we didn't bring up because they're actually both unranked, but they shouldn't be unranked. But this is a huge game. They have their biggest game of the season this year or this week.
Wow. All right,
Uh-huh.
Kreutz, I think you should start us off here, Kreutz, since you're the only one I think that's going to have your team.
Is mine on here? Yeah, mine's not on here. But
yeah, I'll do mine. If I had to pick, I think I'm believing in. If again, whatever, we're just doing dark horse teams. Yeah, it's the one right next to your Stu Vereen, Stu. It's Cincinnati, the Bearcats. Cincy's been really looking good with Scoresby, their quarterback. The only loss they have was at Arrowhead against Nebraska early on. I thought they had a chance of winning that game. They actually were moving the football. They threw a pick at the end. But yeah, this game this weekend is huge. If they can beat Utah at Utah, which Utah is good, and it's a night game there, one of the tougher places to play, then I think it's not completely clear, but they get BYU at home, and they get TCU as well. And that's Arizona is the only other game that they don't include. This weird playoff thing only shows 3 of the 4 games. But they get Arizona at home. So if they run the table here, they're in the Big 12 championship, whether it's Texas Tech doesn't control their destiny until they beat. I mean, I guess they technically would. The Big 12 is weird because they still have to play against BYU. They get it at home, but not an easy game. I mean, I think Texas Tech from a talent standpoint, definitely the money they spent, they are the most talented team. But I got Cincinnati. If they can get done here, they're going to be in the Big 12 championship, and I think they can get in. They're ranked 17th right now. It's just a name people don't really talk about. They've been really sneaky good this year.
It's not a name people talk about. They have been good. That first game of the season, they actually looked pretty legit against Nebraska. Like you said,
They did. They could have won that game.
They could have won the game. They were driving to win it, and that was kind of a home game for Nebraska.
Is that if they lost, Stu?
This is if they lost their conference championship,
All right.
52%.
So
okay, still 52%. That's pretty good. Yeah, no, that's not bad. This would just be a cool team to make it too.
Be fun,
out of the Big 12, yeah. No,
I'm
would
not
like
gonna
to
lie though. This is kind of a Big 12 gauntlet. These 3 games.
It is, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it is. Utah to me I think they're getting a little bit glazed because of what they've been in the past.
I agree because they lost to Texas Tech and got manhandled. What was their other loss? Oh, BYU.
And BYU at this point, they go to Lubbock first, so they're going to be a little beat up probably in that game. I don't know.
I really think this is the sneaky one right here.
Could be.
I think this one would be the sneaky one to me. Yeah, I feel like Sonny Dykes, he loves to piss on people's parades. That's the vibes I get from him. But
yeah, he does.
But at that point, Stu, they still would only have one if they win the first. I mean, obviously, I get through these 2. They'd only have one Big 12 loss. They don't have any Big 12 losses.
True. Here, I'm gonna see if they.
And if they can beat BYU head on, they're in the game, so they get a shot against.
Yeah,
Texas
they
Tech.
they could lose to TCU, and if they win the Big 12 championship game, obviously 100%.
You just gotta win. You just gotta get in, and you got a shot.
But
I like
let's
the.
See. Okay, so they probably
you got to win the Big 12. I don't think there's 2 Big 12 teams.
No, you got to win. You got to win the Big 12 because I mean we had this conversation the other night, which is actually exactly what led to this. Was the SEC is super deep this year, and so like
4 teams.
They're gonna have 4, potential for 5. There's gonna be a couple sneaky Big 10 teams. There's not gonna be a lot of room for other conferences, and the Big 12. There's a lot of parity in the Big 12 right now too. And what is this? Oh, you're doing it for Michigan? Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't make the game. Yeah.
They won't make it. Yeah.
It's probably the same because I think they're predicting if they.
It's honestly better for them if they don't make it because
there's no chance if they beat Ohio State. Can they make it? If Oregon
Indiana would have. It would be Indiana.
Ohio State would have to lose to someone else too.
Well, yeah, because it would be 3-day tie with Oregon, Ohio State, Michigan, all with one loss.
Oregon wins out.
That's if Oregon wins out. Which
Stu? Wait. Wouldn't Michigan still get the head on? Like, isn't that the first thing that they
get rid of the head on though if not all the teams have played, and then it goes to like opponent conference record. or something like that, like the stupid tiebreaker.
Yeah. Well, if it was, let's say Indiana, or like just take Indiana out of the equation because they'll probably be undefeated.
Yeah.
Let's say Michigan and Ohio State both only have one Big Ten loss. It would go to Michigan then because of the head-on.
Yeah, but if you add in a third
if
team,
Oregon, if Oregon has 2 losses in
Yeah.
conference, then like they would have to lose to someone else in the remaining schedule for that to be the case.
because the tiebreakers get all weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I do, and maybe actually after I say mine, we'll do Oregon's. I do kind of want to do Oregon's though, because that plays into mine.
I know
but
you.
Dak, do you want to go next, Dak, or do you want me to do mine?
I'll go next, and it turns out my team actually is on there. I saw him at the bottom there. I'm going with North Texas, baby.
Wow.
And they don't have the easiest path. Their biggest game is Navy, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Navy's still undefeated.
They are.
And so that's probably their biggest game this week. And then they don't play a lot of big teams. They got smoked by USF, which will be tough. And USF is above them. No, it's not great. It's not great. I know. USF is above them. Memphis is above them. Navy's above them. So it's not going to be easy because of the loss to USF. But for those okay, yeah, they have to win their conference, obviously, man. They're not getting in without it. Yeah, if you did it for Memphis, it would be the same, all right? But it's 78% if they win it. Who else are you putting in? That's ridiculous. Regardless.
Well, Memphis could, or I guess Memphis is in the same conference as them, right?
Yeah.
They're in the American, right? Yeah.
They're in the American, yeah.
Okay.
So it goes right now. Navy's undefeated. I think USF is undefeated in conference play. And
they just lost to Memphis.
Memphis is undefeated in conference play. Then I think there's a couple undefeated.
No, they're not. They lost to UAB the week prior.
Okay, so it's maybe just Navy's the only undefeated one, and then Memphis, USF, and North Texas each have one. Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Even on this list?
Oh, Tulane. Sorry. Tulane's 3-0 in the conference.
Navy is not because they play Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. And do they get screwed, or is it the week after the conference championship when they have to play Army?
It's week after, I think, right?
Dumbest thing ever.
It's weird because they want to do it the standalone. They do the standalone. Or is it a bye week when they play and then they do that? I don't know. Yeah, so right now, because the American standings are Navy's undefeated in general. Tulane has 1 loss, but they're 3-0 in the conference. Memphis is 3-1 in the conference. South Florida is 3-1. North Texas is 3-1. They're in the worst spot, but that's why I picked them because I believe in them.
I like it.
And to give a little backstory,
Baker threw for over 600 yards last game. That's insanity.
Well, yeah. So did you guys know Eric Morris? He coached Baker Mayfield at Texas Tech.
Yep.
He coached Patty Mahomes at Texas Tech. He coached Cam Ward at Washington State. He was at draft day with him, and he recruited Johnny Mateer. And then Westmaker is like a 0-star who now leads the nation in passing. And so that's a name to watch out for, Eric Morris.
Yeah, he's sick. He is.
Notre Dame's making it. It should just be 100.
I think that's bullshit. They're definitely making it.
They're in it. Yeah, that should be at 99%.
They're going to win out, and they're going to be in. 10-2 Notre Dame.
Yeah, you can argue their hardest remaining game is against Navy.
Pitt's tough. At Pitt will be tough.
Yeah.
I think Pitt's a decent team this year.
Sneaky one. There's something about Stanford that's not bad. There's something about them.
They're a terrible. I've watched some decent amount. They're a terrible team.
They have
a terrible football team.
They got that Andrew Luck energy to them. You know, I could see an upset potentially.
They lost to Hawaii.
Yeah, that was early, right?
It was, but they lost.
Yeah, I know, but they beat Florida
State. Not a good team.
They beat Florida State, dude. They're getting it going. Same with North Carolina. Not to bring them up, but they're getting better.
All right, so I'm gonna share my screen to a different page real quick for
Go ahead, Stu.
For mine.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and redo this. But I was talking to you fellas about this, and it would be tough. The stars would, I think, have to align. I don't necessarily know if it is just win out and you're in, but
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
You'd have to have some
But
teams in front of you considering this team is not ranked.
I know. Yeah.
my pick is the Washington Huskies. And this is a
Nice.
little foreshadowing for our guest next week. Our
Yeah.
guest next week will be a Washington Huskies aficionado. But this right here, I was trying to find odds because, of course, they're not on that simulator we just had pulled up. So it looks like ESPN is giving them a 5.9% or a 5.2% chance of reaching the college football playoff.
Okay.
And so I do have their schedule pulled up
Wait,
too.
can you scroll up quickly? Just a slight scroll up. Keep going. I think it's in the top paragraph. Wait, all right, pause.
Yeah.
Right there. So I think it says past season lost to. Okay, I thought it said something different. I thought it said in order for them to get in, they would need Michigan to lose to Ohio State, and I was like, "What do you do? Like, what do you?"
Oh,
root
wow.
for?
I mean, that would help them probably, to
It
be
would, yeah.
honest. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna pull up their schedule real quick because we were saying this is a very easy remaining schedule, one game aside, and so they got Wisconsin,
Yep.
Purdue, UCLA, and then they get Oregon and Seattle. So
Yeah.
you never know. I think Kreitz brought up probably the best one that would probably end up keeping them out should their schedule unfold how it probably will, and that's Vanderbilt. Because even if they lose to Tennessee, like you said, they're probably still in there regardless. But who knows? We'll see. And
Yeah.
I do want to
It's just-
see Oregon's playoff predictor thing if we have them losing to Washington. So I'll pull that up
Yeah,
too.
go to that.
They're probably. I mean, if you lose to Washington, you're in a tough spot because then
Yeah.
Oregon would have zero
fair.
ranked wins, not a single ranked win. And like they beat Penn State when they were ranked up. Yeah, they beat Penn State when they were ranked, but outside of that, dude, you'd played
Yeah.
two currently ranked
a
teams.
fair
They're not.
point. Iowa might.
Oh, I guess
be
USC would potentially be the ranked
USC's
one.
ranked. They actually had kind of a tough schedule. Iowa's not a bad team this year.
This is a tough schedule, man. Yeah.
Don't make it, Stu. Don't make it. They wouldn't make it.
Yeah,
at
they
that
won't
point.
make it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Crazy. Still at 87 is wild.
Wait, is that who'd you have them losing to? Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they'd have the win over USC. Wow, interesting. Huh.
That is interesting. I was not
I guess it just
expecting
depends on
87.
how many other 10-2 teams there are, but
Yeah, because this is probably assuming that Michigan loses to Ohio State.
yeah. Yeah. And Michigan would be 9. So then you let
Well, and
Washington.
then in that case, the USC loss. I mean, win at USC looks, and it's just in general. I guess not in that case, but is it at USC?
I think it's at Oregon.
It's in Austin, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting.
It depends on how
Wonder if-
Vandy ends up. I mean, Notre Dame's going to be 10-2.
Maybe it's one of those things too. It's like minimally, they already feel like they're already going to put 3 Big Ten teams in minimally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Someone's got to fill in kind of thing, and Oregon.
I almost wonder if it's kind of like factoring into like Washington just having another loss in there, despite what their schedule is. Basically just being like Washington's not going to make it.
Yeah, that would be insane, though, honestly. So, honestly, their lowest chance on this of getting in with another loss, would be.
They still have one more too, Stu. They just only include 3 games. Oh, they have one more left there. I don't know what it is. They showed 3 games in this thing, but there's one more. There's 4 games.
Yeah, the 4th. Yeah,
But
Washington is their last game.
Someone bad. That means
they play Minnesota.
Dude, that's tough. Like Minnesota's not the worst.
They're not the worst.
Yeah,
No,
it's in Austin.
Fleck,
It is in
I've
Austin.
heard might take the Michigan State job.
Really?
Wow,
No,
that'd be interesting.
I would hate that.
Lateral.
I honestly don't want that. Not because I'd be scared of him. I would just despise how the fans would glaze him.
I'd be more scared that they could sneak up and get one on us. Like he could, I'm gonna get you in my little barber. I'm gonna get you.
I don't want that.
Okay, so can I throw this in before we get it? Because Miami plays SMU. Miami's the most interesting of this equation to me.
Ooh, yeah.
Look at Miami, right? Texas, I have to talk about them every day, and Aaron Hogan thinks that they're going to win out. He's like, they can do it. I'm like, I don't know. Miami's interesting because, like, again, they're 2-1 right now because they've already had 2 byes in conference play. Like, things have to happen for them because, like, they don't play Georgia Tech and they don't play Virginia. Isn't that not like they need things to shake out?
Because right now, what is it? It's Virginia's undefeated in the ACC, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Virginia's undefeated. Georgia Tech's obviously undefeated. And then, like, even Pitt, Louisville, SMU, like, they all have just one conference loss along with Miami. I saw
got the head on at that point.
Yeah, I saw a stat today because I think Miami was undefeated at this point last season, right?
Louisville ain't dead in this mix now. That was one of the teams I was thinking of. Louisville ain't dead.
No, Louisville's not dead. They have a shot. Because who do they have left? They got Virginia Tech, Cal, Clemson, SMU, Kentucky.
Louisville lost to, I believe it was Virginia. Overtime, right?
Yep, that's who they lost to. They lost to Virginia.
This is getting insane.
Miami has five games left, actually, not 3. So this is
that's what I was saying. They're only 2-1 in conference play. So right now in conference, they're like 7th because they've had this weird bye stretch.
So this is their remaining schedule. They play at SMU this weekend, which I was saying earlier. I actually think Miami is going to lose this game this weekend. So then they won't even really be in the equation anymore.
If they lose this weekend, which is not impossible, they're dead.
And then they got Syracuse at home, which they'll win that. Despite my Syracuse fandom, I feel all right saying that they will not beat Miami.
Yeah.
They play NC State at home, so they're probably winning that. Virginia Tech on the road. To be honest, I don't really know how Virginia Tech's doing right now. And then
they're ass. They don't have a coach.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was one of the like fire your head coach, you look a little better situations though.
They might have won a game actually. Like you don't have one of these, one of those.
They're 3-5 though.
They put up a fight against Georgia Tech. They only lost by
15. They just beat Cal, which is actually kind of a big deal.
I do kind of want to see what the matchup predictor has to say about SMU and Miami.
No, Miami's interesting though because they obviously missed the playoffs last year. But they at this point in the season, they had ESPN gave them a higher percentage chance to make it at this point last year than this year. And
they
so
were undefeated, weren't they?
They were undefeated. Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I think they were because then they lose
besides Syracuse. Who do they lose to?
Because then they start. No, they didn't. Did they lose to Syracuse or they
hit? Or who did they lost to? Someone
hit. I know.
Miami lost to Syracuse last year.
They did. Yeah.
Syracuse said it was legit the last game that kept.
Didn't they start? Didn't they start like 9-0? Right, and they lost.
Yeah, dude. They lost to somebody. Was it Pitt? It was someone weird.
I can see.
Yeah, I don't remember. Was it Virginia? It wasn't Virginia terrible.
No. I'll find it.
Let's take it. I got it pulled up.
It was mighty Georgia Tech.
Okay. Yeah.
Georgia Tech. Bro, if Georgia Tech, okay, fellas, there's a world where if Georgia Tech could keep Georgia out of the playoffs, which is just insane to think.
I know.
Insane. Because Tech beats Georgia and Georgia has to lose another game, hypothetically. I mean, I guess Texas is probably the toughest one they got, and it's at home.
Yeah.
But like, bro, they'd keep them out.
If Georgia has 2 losses, well, didn't Georgia go 10-2 last year? And then they
were in the SEC championship.
Yeah. They were in the what'd you say?
They're in the SEC championship at 10-2 because they lost to Alabama and they lost to Ole Miss on the road.
Alabama and they lost to Ole Miss. And then they almost lost to. It was the same thing last year. It went to overtime. It went to like 8 overtime. 8 overtime. Yeah, because they do it was the 2-point conversion thing, and they kept. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But that would be insane. This year, I think Georgia Tech could actually do it.
Like it's in Mercedes-Benz Superdome or whatever.
I know. Yeah, Chick-fil-A Nation. They play everything. But yeah, it's interesting. I still think Miami's going to make it, but dude, I could see them just.
I don't know.
deep
I don't know.
under.
I'm not
I
chucking
know.
it up because I think Georgia Tech's a damn good team now.
I know.
My boys.
That was a
Yeah,
great
I'm
pick.
honestly not putting stock in Miami making it, to be honest. If I had to go gun to the head,
I don't know.
I would not put them in there.
Well,
Gun to
you
the
said. I mean, I'm not hating the takes, too. SMU could beat them. SMU's not a bad team.
It
No,
just feels like one of those games that they're gonna drop. But
I feel like
We'll
SMU's
see.
kind of had a tough schedule.
They have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have. Carson Beck, too, throwing his team under the bus. That does not help. He threw his teammate under the bus during that Louisville loss. Like, oh, the receiver did whatever. Like, what?
Can't be having that. That's why his girlfriend broke up with him.
That's the reason why.
Yes.
Not that he was Snapchatting women for nudes or whatever it was.
Yeah, my favorite.
Show me your boobs. Yeah.
My favorite Snapchat of Carson Beck was the one. It's just a selfie of himself, and he goes, "Please hit me with your car so I don't have to play football again."
Wow.
That's awesome.
He was at Georgia, dude. It's so good.
Dak, do you wanna? We're coming up on time. Do you want to rip your Dak's dog real quick? This one's
Can I,
actually a
Stu,
big
real
deal
quick
for you.
before we finish with that? Can we do these games just you guys pick and then we'll get to Dak's dog?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
All right, Vandy, Texas. I believe it's 2.5. Again, these spreads I can pull them up. Vandy coming to our city, Austin. We might be in attendance. I think Dak. I'll figure out the ticket situation.
Yeah, it'd be
tomorrow.
sweet. Yeah.
I haven't gone to a game yet this year, and I think we got 2 tickets left. So, all right, Vandy, Texas, in Austin, and we don't know about Arch Manning. I can tell you that it might be Caldwell.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna be. You guys know. You know this very well. I've been on the wrong side of Vanderbilt for
Yes, you have.
a couple of weeks now. I'm not gonna find myself there again. That's why I'm going Texas 2.5.
Wow.
And
Wow.
if Vandy wins again, they should be thanking me. Because if I picked them, they would lose. I guarantee it. But I'm going Texas 2.5.
That's funny. Stu, who you got, brother? Yeah, 2.5 right now. I got the odds.
It's funny you say that because I was just loading up to say now that Dakota's picking Vandy, I'm going with Texas. But that wasn't the case. So I'm gonna stick with it. I'm gonna say the Commodores coming to Austin and get the dub.
You know, I'll be kind of a homer because I think Matthew Caldwell is gas. I like this kid, and I hope he plays.
Yeah.
Not that Archer's been bad, but I think they're going to lose to Georgia. Like, I think their loss is coming, and maybe even A&M. I just don't think they're better than either of those teams. I do think that Vandy's had a really tough stretch, and they've won these games at home. I'll go with the little Texas Magic at DKR. I'll give them the win this time before their bye. I'll give them a win.
That is, I mean, it's harder for you to quit them, but that is the team I can't quit. Like, I swear, I know, they've looked bad week in, week out, but I swear to God, they're still good.
I don't know how they did it last week. I watched the game over twice. Yeah. I don't get it, but they did it. Thank you, Brandon Walker. Screw you, Brandon Walker.
He said,
I'm so sorry. Honestly, it's a win-win for me if Vandy does end up losing because then that helps my Washington take. So
You're just like a Huskies guy now.
Yeah, you are.
Either way, it could assist.
And I think the root cause of this, Dak, I don't know if you're on the same sides, because Michigan beat the piss out of them. And he needs that to be also.
That is a good.
And I'm wearing the maize and blue. I'm rooting for Big Blue.
To be honest, that definitely isn't a bad part about it. But the main reason is just because we wanted to go long shot. And so I figured this was one of the long.
Well, now you've hitched your wagon to
the point though.
I have.
Now that you bring that up though, I'm starting to get Oklahoma vibes from Washington.
Yeah.
From early season Oklahoma. Yeah. Yeah, you were
all right. I mean, it's valid. Look, I'm not saying the theory, the tinfoil hat that's going on here with that. I can see where the connections are being made. I'm just saying
I respect
the public image of this take is not involved with that.
I respect it, Stuart. Let it be known. I respect it.
Yeah, and
they're not a bad team now. They beat Illinois. They're not a bad team. They for 2.5 quarters kept it close to Ohio State. They're not awful. All right.
Joel Klatt called their offensive trio the top 10 offense in America. So
he's smoking glue. Whatever. Joel Klatt,
Dak's favorite guy.
Well,
All
yeah,
right,
whatever
we'll
that
get through these quick. I know we're on a time constraint.
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
All right, real quick, go around the horn. Oklahoma +3. We'll do the spread at Tennessee. That is a night game in Knoxville.
I'm taking Tennessee. Give me the spread,
Okay.
too.
Do.
I'm also taking Tennessee.
Yeah. I just think the Oklahoma luster, it might be gone. I think it's actually going to be a really close game. I'll go Tennessee at home at night. They're still alive, man. That's a weird team that's still alive as well. Okay, for just the fun of it, we'll throw our one Big Ten game in there. It's 6 points. USC going to Lincoln.
That's a night game. I'm taking USC to win, but Nebraska to cover.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the weird take. I'm going to be the guy of weird takes and take Nebraska. I was saying it. I
right.
can't remember if this was before we hopped on or what, but I was just saying, as the Big Ten correspondent, I've seen these games happen too many times. Honestly, you guys have seen these games happen too many times.
Yeah.
Where weird things can happen in the Big Ten as we get close to November and into November.
Night game in Nebraska, kind of spooky. Maybe they'll wear the black
Spooky.
jerseys. All right, and the
Halloween.
last one, a crazy spread, especially for my take. I'll say it because they're my team.
Yeah.
I'm riding with the Bearcats +10. F it. I'm going money line. Give me that. I'm going to text Jake as we speak at +300. Give me the Bearcats to beat Utah on the road. Give me that.
I'm taking that spread's
points?
ridiculous. 10.5. 10.5's outrageous. 10 points is that's too much. I understand the Utah environment. It's a great environment, but I'm going Cincinnati to cover. And as a gambling man, I'm not very good at it. I'm also going to take the money line. And yeah.
Let's go.
I'll hop in on that.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, they obviously Nebraska, as we know, is not the best team in college football, but Cincinnati did barely lose. It honestly looked like the better team most of the game
I agree.
in Arrowhead at the beginning of the season. And so I do think they have a little bit of the road warrior in them. So, you know what? I'm going to join as well. I'm gonna go Bearcats.
All right, you guys are joining. We're putting dollars on that +300 as we speak. I'm texting Jake that we all want in. That would be glorious. That would be
great. Good odds.
All right, Dak. We'll finish it off here with Dak's dog, who was Dak's dog of Week 9. Was it Week 9 in college or Week 8 in college football? We're on to Week 9. I don't know.
We are.
That was Week 9 technically.
Yeah, we're on to Week 10. God, that's crazy.
Dude, it's November on Saturday, boy.
I told Stu what's really messing me up is I was seeing tweets on Tuesday of like LSU practicing and like games going on. I was like, man, spring ball is just the best because it feels like our season's over because it feels like the off season. Like we fired our coach and we're looking for a new one. But we still got more ball.
Dak's dog. Join the Michigan Wolverines back where you belong, sir.
Well, so I said I was going to be a free agent for the rest of the season. That was going to be my big announcement today. Then they fired Brian Kelly, so I'm not going to do that. But I am going to be a free agent for the playoffs. I want to put some money on a team for a future. So I'm looking to see who I'm going to root for throughout the playoffs because we're not going to. Dak's dog of the week feeds right into that. The man that finally put down Brian Kelly as he should. I hate to say it, but I have to do it. Marcel Reed. He's torched us back-to-back years. Like, he has just put LSU in a chokehold for back-to-back years. Shout out Tommy Moffitt, too. He deserved that one. Yeah. LSU promised him he wouldn't get fired when Brian Kelly came in. They fired him in the rain. It's a sad video. But Marcel Reed destroyed LSU. He deserves that. So, Dak's dog of the week.
Belt to ass, some might say.
Definition.
I heard Texas A&M was using pictures of Brian Kelly, and it's not a joke.
I saw that.
On their pads.
Yeah. Smart.
Wow.
Also, if we got just 30 seconds here,
please.
I did make a list of my favorite Brian Kelly moments.
Okay.
This is both at LSU and not at LSU. And this
I have one to share too. When we sign off here, this episode is going to end on what I think to be the most infamous of all the Brian Kelly clips.
I'll read it down the line. Number one, my favorite Brian Kelly moment at LSU was on Sunday when he got fired. That was fantastic.
Nice.
Number two, I would have to say was my family. Number 3 was the same speech. I haven't even won all my games yet. Well, you didn't win a lot of them. There you go, buddy. Number 4, we're sitting here again. That's a bad one. Number 5 is you're spoiled. You're spoiled. You're micro. I should have put this one on there. But
You're
like,
micro.
Number 5. This one we haven't brought up. I'm shocked. Back in, I think it was January of 2025, he said, we're keeping receipts and we'll see y'all at the national championship. Turns out he got fired. Another one, this was not LSU, but he invited Matt LaFleur and Robert Saleh when he was at Central to his house. They thought it was for a party. He had them shovel snow, park cars, and then send them home with no food. Awesome. The next one, he didn't talk to the assistant coaches at LSU for the first 5 weeks he was there. That's why a lot of them left, because they didn't know if they had a job. He wouldn't speak to him. Nobody knows why. Next one is he went to a PR coach in Washington, D.C. because he knew people in Louisiana didn't like him, and he was trying to be more well-liked. And then the final one, I wrote this one down, kicked everyone out. I can't remember.
Can I get one? Can I get one in?
Yes, please.
He went to a recruit's house. He was recruiting.
That's the one.
This is the one?
Yeah.
And he was doing a house visit, and the mother made burn ends. He took a phone call, and that was the time frame. That phone call was him accepting the LSU job, but yet did not tell the family that, but proceeded to have 3 servings of the burn ends and then left.
Yeah, and they said they found out he hopped in an SUV, peeled off, and they said they found out 2 minutes after he left that he took the LSU job.
After 3 servings of burn ends.
Yeah.
Thank you to that recruit's family. I wonder where he ended up.
I don't know. But yeah, that's my favorite. The other one was he kicked all alumni out of the facility. Way to go, buddy. And then we all know BKKAK. That's the Twitter account because of the unfortunate event at Notre Dame that took place.
Yeah, that's our least favorite thing about him. Like,
that's our least favorite.
About these, but that actually.
I was gonna throw that in. I feel like they needed
not a favorite moment.
No, that's not a favorite Brian Kelly moment. That is a least favorite moment because that was bad luck. Stu, you said you had one,
and it can't run away from him. The one I have is one you said. This is, in my opinion, the most iconic Brian Kelly moment, and so I'm gonna play this. We'll sign off right after, fellas. But it's been a great episode.
I'll say this right before we play it, Stu. Stay tuned because next week we're getting hot with it. Like we have the playoff rankings. Stu's got insider from Locked In Huskies, I believe is what it'd be, right, Stu?
Yeah.
We're about to get. This is when it begins. So to the TRC fan base, the listeners, we appreciate you, but get ready. We're about to lock in heavy. Let's get into it.
Yep. It's gonna be big.
We are. All right. Have a good one, everyone.
See ya.
Are you playing it? Yep, there we go. Yep, this is the best one.
I'm going to remove us from the screen and play it.
Thank you.
All right, yeah.
Their butts off tonight. And we're sitting here again. We're sitting here again talking about the same things. About not finishing when you have an opponent in a position to put them away. But what we're doing on the sideline is feeling like the game's over.